Good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Shiva. I look forward to sharing with you today a very important herb called bitter gourd and why bitter is better. This is what it looks like, and you can see it's green on the outside. It looks like a cucumber, but it has the surface of almost like an armadillo, different than a cucumber. These prickly, they're not thorny, but they're very, almost look primitive. It's a plant from the cucumber family. It's an herbal medicine that is recommended by Ayurveda or Siddha. So in the Indian system of medicine, in the north, they practice Ayurveda. In the south, they practice Siddha, which is actually much older and has a much deeper, richer pantheon of different types of aspects of medicine, including the martial arts, including the use of herbs, the use of heavy metals, yoga, as well as meditative practices. But Siddha in the south, Ayurveda in the north. But you can see it's commonly used in diets of cultures from Asia, Africa, and South America. You can see the scientific word Mamordica charantia, okay? Mamordica charantia, and its medicinal properties are attributed to the fruit and the seeds. So the immune system, as I've taught many of you before, in the simplified version of the immune system, you have the innate immune system, which is the first to come in touch with any type of pathogen. Everything that's involved in your mucosa, inside your gut, your lungs, the back of your throat, your eyes, your ears, your skin. It's the part of your immune system that faces the outside world. So when a pathogen hits that, the first thing that happens, and the virus comes in and the macrophages start trying to munch up, eat up the virus, right? As a macrophage moves through, it delivers the munched up virus particles into the CD4 T cells, which is really part of your adaptive immune system, right? It's a secondary immune system, and it stimulates the CD4 T cells to create the CD8 T cells, which go and try to eat up the infected cell. But it also creates the B cells, which create these little Y-looking things, which are the antibodies. But the fundamental idea here is a pathogen comes, it faces your frontal immune system, the innate immune system, and then it goes to the adaptive immune system. And the theory here is to get antibodies. So the entire basis of this two-box model of the immune system is, hey, if you get these antibodies, you're in great shape. That's what they say. But the reality is the antibodies are only one part of your entire immune system. This is really the full picture of the immune system. It involves the innate system, the adaptive, but it also includes the interferon system, microbiome, the microvirome. There's nearly 60 trillion bacteria in your microbiome. You have 380 trillion viruses inside of you. You have the interferon system, the gut-brain axis, which leads up to your brain, your neural system. All of these things are really what form the immune system, not just these two boxes. It's a lot more. Now, the interferon system, these interferons interfere. When a virus comes, they interfere with viral replication. They upregulate thousands of genes. So when your body is infected, the interferon system is a missing link. And these type 1 and type 2 interferons are present in virtually every cell in the body. What's important to remember is interferons stimulate, they activate stuff back in the innate immune system. So if you have a strong interferon system, guess what? Your body's first line of defense is able to take out that virus, the NK cells. The interferon system also contains interferon gamma, which supports your adaptive system. Very few doctors even know about the interferon system. When you look at something like bitter gourd, there's all these articles out there, quite a bit of research, 3,378 articles, 17 clinical trials over 60 years. Now, how do we actually go through this? So CytoSolve, as many of you know, is the engine that I created out of my PhD work at MIT. CytoSolve is a capability to be able to look at the body of work in a certain area, whether you're looking at a combination of ingredients or ingredients, on how it affects a particular disease or biomolecular function. So when you look at something like bitter gourd, we can take all those papers, we can curate them, that's what we do, and then from those papers, we can extract out the molecular mechanisms, which means chemical reactions of how that ingredient works relative to a particular system of interest. Today, we're going to look at the immune system. I wanted to let you know that we use the technology here. We've helped many companies over the last 16 years, a lot of smart, innovative companies, but we decided with all the mathematical models we've created, why don't we try to use this to compute the best product we could think of from the science out there for reducing pain and inflammation, pain and discomfort. And that resulted in us creating MV25 using CytoSolve. We're going to have more products that are going to be coming, but let me just show you what MV25 is about for those of you who haven't heard about it. But this is using CytoSolve in a beneficial way, not to just do research, but find combination therapies.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ann. My hands would cramp up, so that I couldn't hold cards or knit or crochet, and they would go like that. And I'd have to use this when I played cards with my grandkids. And I started taking that MV25. After a bit, I was able to hold cards in my hand, very, very little cramping, hardly at all anymore. MV25.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I tore my ACL during Taekwondo. I had a lot of pain and limited mobility. I've been taking the MV25 for about 6 months now. After the first week, I noticed a big difference. After the second week, almost literally no pain.
My name is Jeremy, and I suffer from a lower back problem. Hurt my back at work years ago, and I can go to the chiropractor, do all kinds of different things, and nothing seems to help. And I decided to try MV25. I didn't notice a difference immediately, but within a few days, the pain went away, and it stayed away. I've continued to take it, and even when I do things that I shouldn't do, it seems to go away a lot quicker than it ever did before.
It's clean food certified. It's made in the US. If you go to vashiva.com, right on the shop, you'll click there, or you can go right to mv25.life, either way. And then from there, you can click on the bottle and you can order. If you buy 6 bottles, you get 6 bottles for free. Please take advantage of it, because first of all, it's going to help you. It's going to help our movement, and it really supports the fact that we want to take science-based approaches to natural products. Going back to bitter gourd, now that you understand CytoSolve and MV25, is that bitter gourd contains fatty acids. It contains minerals, vitamins, essential oils, and therapeutic proteins. You can notice very, very different chemical structures here. So what are the biological effects? This is what's written in the literature as CytoSolve has found. It's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic, and antioxidant. The health benefits affect multiple aspects. You see it's good for liver health, diabetes, infection, rheumatoid arthritis, neurodegenerative diseases, eczema, kidney stone, obesity. We're looking at bitter gourd as antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, right? So let's look at that. So the antiviral activity of bitter gourd, okay? So first of all, these two chemicals, which I went over before, alpha and beta, momarcharin, lectin, MRK29, and MAP30, these are the things from bitter gourd. They increase the production of IFN gamma. That's interferon gamma. And interferon gamma stimulates the production of the innate immune cells. That means in your early system, your marine force, macrophages, and natural killer cells. And these two cells, guess what they do? They directly kill viruses and mitigate infection. Your body is a chemical factory. You give it the right fuel, and your body will create the quote-unquote pharmaceuticals it needs to knock out different pathogens. So the second thing is antibacterial. The transneurolidol in bitter gourd seed and the essential oil disrupts the wall. This chemical literally breaks up the wall of the bacteria, disrupts the cell wall, and the stuff in the bacterial and fungi start leaking out. The other thing we've talked about before, you'll see this common theme here, transneurolidol in bitter gourd seed. That's a seed. Essential oil is effective against several bacteria. Staphylococcus, as you can see, that we're talking about here. It's also powerful against methicillin-resistant S. aureus, MRSA. So bitter gourd is very powerful against Staphylococcus, as well as against the methicillin-resistant S. aureus, MRSA. So what happens is the bacteria are hard to treat by antibiotics as they develop resistance. One of the things we want to recognize here that we're seeing is that the transneurolidol disrupts a biofilm and makes the bacteria more susceptible to the hostile environment. So what happens here, as I've shared in other cases, is that bacteria like to hide and then they come out. They hide and they come out. They hide under like a mound called a biofilm, biofilm. People have certain types of infections or Lyme disease. The Lyme comes and goes. Well, one of the reasons that's happening is that the Lyme is able to go under, almost like hide underground under the biofilm. So one of the important things is many of these foods that are very powerful antibacterials, antivirals, and antifungal will really break up the biofilm, so then other therapeutics can go in and destroy the bacteria. That's what we see bitter gourd also does. But when you look at bitter gourd stabilizes vata, motion. It stabilizes pitta, supports digestion, and it stabilizes kapha, storage. This is very rare. You can see this bitter food stabilizes vata, pitta, and kapha in the Indian tradition, but transport, conversion, and storage. So how much should you take? Most of you will always ask me, hey, Dr. Shiva, how much should we take? Well, again, this is not a medical program because we get in trouble when we start prescribing stuff, but this is an educational program. But as a part of the education, when you look at what the science is out there, I'm going to share with you what the science says about dosaging. So let's look at that. What does the science say about dosaging? Well, you can take 30% of the juice of the whole fruit, okay, which means 70% water, 30% juice. That's for a maintenance dose. So you can get a juicer, 30% of that. So, if you're filling up a glass, 30% of the glass with that, and the other 70% with water. It's anti-hyperglycemic use in diabetes. 2,000 milligrams, which means 2 grams a day of the bitter gourd extract. That comes from Jaffe, 2013. For anti-obesity use, Bono et al., 2 milliliters per kilogram of aqueous extract of bitter gourd. That's 2011. So in conclusion, bitter gourd disrupts the cell wall of bacteria and fungi, killing them directly. So it blows up the cell wall of bacteria and fungi. The other thing bitter gourd does, it activates the innate immune system that directly kills viruses. And the other thing bitter gourd does, it inhibits the biofilm, which kills bacteria directly. Again, there you go. That's bitter gourd. Thank you. Be well.